It's 2 Cent Tuesday, which means that I'll be reading your mess while giving my 2 cents. Or should it go, I'll be giving my 2 cents on all of your mess. We'll figure it out. But anyway, welcome back to a whole nother episode of Sip and Spill. It's your girl, B, here with another 2 Cent Tuesday. And if you would like to submit your letters, please go to sipandspills.com. That's sipandspills.com. Today we have 3 letters. So let's get right into this mess. We can start with this one. So he overheard his girlfriend's friends say that she can do better than him. So the letter goes, I guess they didn't think I could hear them, and they were saying she can do so much better than me, but props to her, she immediately shut them down, but that comment really got to me. Height was never an issue for me, but fuck. I put in so much work to look my best. I got minoxidil. I don't know what that is, so I'm just going to skip that word. To grow a beard because of my weak chin. I work out 5 days a week, and I'm also at 13% body fat. I follow a strict diet and a skincare routine. I got teeth whitening treatment and a lot more. I can't do anything else. I always had this doubt at this back of my mind. I think he meant at the back of my mind. Okay. I always had this doubt at the back of my mind as to her choice to be with me because she's so cute. Could get any guy. I'm not even rich, but it's probably because I make her laugh and am good to talk to or something. How do I get over this feeling and not being good enough? Wow. I must say, doing these 2 Cent Tuesdays has really shown me the vulnerability of young men. And I must say, it's pleasantly surprising to see. I mean, not that I'm happy that he feels this way. Of course not. But I'm just glad to see that men are finding spaces where they can be more vulnerable in. I like that. But anyway, to answer your question, 1, the fact that your girlfriend stood up for you clearly means that you are more than enough to her. I had a friend when I was in college. She dated this guy, and he was on the football team. I went to Penn State, so he was on the football team. He was a top prospect, all that stuff. But physically, a lot of people did not find him the most attractive. However, she would always say to people when they would bring up his looks, I don't really care about what you think because he's Chris Brown to me, and that's all that matters. And to be honest, that is all that mattered. So in this instance, it doesn't really matter about what her friends think about you. Friends are very judgmental about who they feel like their friends are worth. And I feel like a lot of them base it off of looks and not necessarily how that person treats you. And so it seems like in this instance, I'm assuming for her to come to your rescue as quickly as she did, you must treat her very well. I mean, you only mentioned making her laugh and good to talk to, but that's not enough of a reason for somebody to really come to your rescue and back you up. I think you probably treat her well, and how you treat somebody is much more important, but I don't see why it matters to you what her friends think about you, as long as the person that you're with is happy with you, and as long as you're happy with yourself. And it sounds like you've been doing a lot of work on yourself. You go to the gym, you eat well, you are growing out your beard with something I've never heard of before, and you got your teeth whitening, you have a skincare routine, you have a good diet, you're taking really good care of yourself. And I would hope that with you doing this, it's not just to please other people, but more so that you feel good about yourself. And as long as you feel good about yourself and you look good to you, and the girlfriend that you're currently with is clearly satisfied by you, then don't allow her friends or anybody else to affect how you feel about you. Because at the end of the day, she's with you. So it might be rooted jealousy. It might be, like I said earlier, I feel like a lot of friends, especially, well, I don't know about men friendships as much, but I'll say like a lot of friends can be very superficial with who they see their friend with. They may judge the person that their friend chooses to be with based off of how they look, and they don't prioritize necessarily how that person treats that friend because of the fact that they don't know. All they know is at first impression what somebody looks like to them and what their standard is, or how they may compare exes to their current situation. And I'm sure none of this is, I probably should stop because I'm sure none of this is going to make you feel any better. But the point being is that as long as you two are happy together, who really cares about what other people think? I mean, it seems like you two are happy together, so don't allow the superficialness of her friends to affect you or your mental health, or cause you to feel insecure about how she views you. Just because her friends look at you a certain way doesn't mean she does, especially since you said that she backs you up in that sense. And it shouldn't matter to you what her friends think. Everybody has different types. So, yeah. So this next letter is called, what are some reasons a good-looking, smart guy has trouble with women? And the letter goes, I met a guy on an app who's mid-30s, good-looking, smart, nothing weird about him to my knowledge. Not like a model or super-duper hot, but above average in looks. Average height and weight, cute face, has a good job, intelligent. We ended up hooking up, and I was surprised that he was very awkward in bed. He seemed nervous, aware of his awkwardness, and said he hadn't had a lot of sex and wasn't very successful with dating. His lack of experience surprised me because of his age, and I don't know him well enough to keep asking about it. But what am I missing here? I've met guys who are much less attractive that seem to have had lots of dates/hookups. Wow, miss, talk about being judgmental. Wow. I mean, goodness, just because the man looks good, you expect him to just put his penis everywhere that it can go? Like, oh my God. Well, first and foremost, just because somebody is good looking and smart does not mean that they're out here just slanging women around left and right. Like, there could be several reasons that he is awkward in the bedroom. As he shared with you, he hasn't had that much experience with sex. There could be several reasons why. One might be he might see his body as his temple. So maybe he didn't want to just slang his penis around everywhere. Or maybe it's religious reasons. Or he could be like a lot of people where he's like fine wine and he got better with time. He could have been dorkier when he was younger. He wasn't as confident when he was younger. And then he grew into the man that he is today. And now he seems more confident. He seems more attractive. He's smarter. All of those things. And that just came over time. He also may not have prioritized women. Or he's just a normal human who gets nervous. And maybe he liked you enough that he became awkward because he was nervous, because he wanted to please you. And unfortunately, his nervousness took over, which made him even more awkward. There's a lot of reasons why somebody who is good looking and smart could have trouble with women. I am just like, I'm trying not to be judgmental, but this letter is very judgmental, because it's like, you expect because has above average in looks. I don't even know what that means. So that means what? Average is a 5 out of 10. So he's like a 6, because you said he's not super hot. So it's like, okay, cool. He's he's average height and weight. What is that? Also, looks and all of that don't really matter, because as you said at the bottom, I've met guys who are much less attractive that seem to have had lots of dates/hookups. So that should clearly indicate to you that looks don't matter. It's all about how you carry yourself. Confidence is way more attractive to both women and men when it comes to just that type of energy. And so just because you look good, if you're not confident behind it, then yeah, you might not have as much experience as I know somebody who has no eyebrows. Lie to y'all not. I lied to y'all not. There's this man on this earth and he has 0 eyebrows on his face. None. And he has the confidence to hear. And when I tell you, I've seen him hook up with, date, whatever you want to call it, with some of the most beautiful women I've laid my eyes on. And he has no eyebrows. So clearly, looks don't matter but so much. People love to make it seem like looks are so important. My man's has no eyebrows and still is out here slinging it left and right. Confidence matters. Confidence matters. So in this situation, his confidence probably just wasn't there. He probably was a little socially awkward. I mean, he's in his mid-30s now, so now he is definitely more comfortable with himself. But prior to that, he probably wasn't. Or maybe he had only been with one person. You know, they separated. He's finding himself, and now he's putting himself out there. But regardless, I just think it's very unfair of you to judge him just because he looks above average, whatever that means. So you expect him to be good in the bedroom. If you don't want to teach him how to please you, just say that. Just say that. Just say that. But don't sit here and write these little judgmental letters and make it seem like something's wrong with him. Ain't nothing wrong with him. Ain't nothing wrong with him. Men can be vulnerable too. Men can be awkward too. Men can be nervous in the bedroom too. It's normal. Whew, sorry, that just ruffled my feathers. Off to the next letter. Okay. So, the last one that I'll be reading today is called How to Deal with a Clingy Boyfriend. Wow. I don't know why I picked this one, because one thing that drives me crazy is clinginess. Oh my, Who just the idea is giving me is making me shiver. I'm shivering in my boots. Like, whoo, okay, let's see. I always thought I wanted a clingy partner after years of being I always thought I wanted a clingy partner after years of being with men that were emotionally unavailable / avoidant. Finally, got what I asked for, right? At first, everything was great. All the attention, validation, effort, compliments anyone could ask for. But now I'm feeling smothered and suffocated. We hung out a day ago, and he made me feel bad for not hanging out the very next day, even though I have to focus on my work. Every day and pretty much every message he sends are paragraphs so long you have to scroll through it all. Just all about how he doesn't deserve me, I'm perfect, etc. I don't want to change him if that's how he naturally is, but how do I tell him to dial it back just a tad? I don't want to be mean. See, this is why I ask myself sometimes, why do I even bother reading these? Because this is so... Okay, let's start from the beginning. Be careful what you ask for is very, 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 very true. Because God has a very interesting sense of humor, and he will give you exactly what you ask for. And it seems like you got exactly what you asked for, because you thought, oh, I'm always attached to these emotionally unavailable men. And then you finally get somebody who's very available emotionally, and now he is super clingy. So be careful what you ask for. Lesson number one, ladies. But with that being said, you are complaining about him being too clingy. It seems like he needs a lot of validation. Does he have a job? Curiosity, because the fact that he made you feel bad about the fact that you have to work or focus on your work. I don't know how old y'all are, but like, does he not have a job? Or if y'all are in school, is he not taking classes? Like, what is going on here? How does he have this much time on his hands to be writing you paragraphs upon paragraphs every day, all day, but you don't have that much time because you are focused on your work? So that's another thing that I would be concerned about, is what is he doing all day? Moving on. Then, you said that all he does is talk about how perfect you are. Whew, that's hilarious. Because it's like, it's so many people who wish they were in your situation, but at the same time, I can completely understand how you feel, in the sense that, like, yes, you know, it's great to hear how amazing you are and how much somebody appreciates you, but at the same token, you don't have to tell me every day that you're not worth my time, or that you don't deserve me because I'm this and I'm that. Like, yeah, once in a while it's cool. Every day, all right now, what is going on, sir? Because now it seems like you might have some issues that you need to work out. Because he seems like he may be seeking a lot more validation than you can provide. So to answer your question, you said you don't want to change him if that's how he naturally is, but how do I tell him to dial back just a tad? So this is the problem. If this is who he is naturally, you would be changing him. Now, you know, for me, I couldn't be in a relationship with somebody that's clingy because it would drive me crazy. But there are people who love this type of situation, and they might be equally yoked. I don't know if you two are equally yoked, and you don't want to be mean, which I understand, because it kind of could come off a little like you're ungrateful or unappreciative by saying, hey, you tell me I'm awesome too much. So yeah, maybe what you could do is, I think I tried this before and it worked temporarily. Have you ever, what movie is that where they talk about like missing your partner? You know, like kind of like Sex in the City, when the girl moved out of the house with her husband into her apartment and they missed each other, and it helped them, like, you know, reconvene and like fall back in love and stuff like that. So maybe if you could position it in a way of like, you want to, well, I don't know, I'm a phone person, so I always tell people I prefer talking on the phone. So it's like, I don't really want to text you all day. I prefer to have that conversation, like, you know, on the phone when we're like catching up or whatever. And I can talk on the phone for hours. But if you're not a phone person, I don't know what that could be. Everything I'm coming up with in my head makes it sound like you're being unappreciative, even though you're not, you know, but you should be able to express how you feel. Oh, I got one. Maybe, hear me out. Maybe you could tell him, like, ask him, hey, are you okay? You know, and just put it along the lines of, it seems like he is seeking more validation than you can offer. And you're starting to be concerned about how he views himself, because he constantly is telling you how he doesn't deserve you and all these things like this. But, you know, you chose him for a reason, and you love him and you want to be with him and you're happy with who he is. So you just want to check in to make sure that he's okay and see where that goes. You know, I think that's great. I think that's the best advice I could come up with in this moment. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to give myself a round of applause, y'all, because that was hard. So yeah, That's going to wrap up today's episode of 2 Cent Tuesday. If you would like to submit a letter, please go to sipandspills.com. That's sipandspills.com. And if you enjoyed this episode, just do me a favor and please share it with a friend. Until next time, deuces!